All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're having a wonderful morning. It is March 4th, 2025, and today is the first day that tariffs have been enacted. So we had a big reaction yesterday. You are down right now in the pre-market. You actually have a pledged response from Mexico coming in on Sunday. Response from Mexico. Oh, hi. So we heard a little bit about that. We're going to get more of that. And then Canada, they have already decided that they're going to retaliate. We got some data on that, as well as China. Believe it or not, China has already gone for some of our agriculture. However, they have done so small. The market is taking the China reaction as pretty positive for now. Otherwise, Mexico is still in the air in Canada, and now you are finally getting the reality of tariffs. So we are going to be having Donald Trump and the State of the Union today, and then tomorrow we get into more data, China, and all of that. But this response is going to be crucial. If you guys watched the watch list yesterday, it is on this channel. You guys will see, because from now all the way up until April, every other week, we are going to be getting some level of tariff reaction. So depending on how the market takes it today, this will definitely be a signal. So we got a lot in store. It's going to be wild. You don't have any earnings, just data from around the world. You're going to hear a lot about trade. We're going to see momentum in the levels. But Chattadonia, I hope you're ready for a Tuesday, baby. Good morning. What up, Malcolm? What up, PNC? Good morning, Tim Whitman, Ansel, Dos Nacho, Laurie, Nope, Godfather, Laker, Jay. Good morning, baby. What up, Bushnell, El Trapato, Tyree, Ben Stahl, Mr. Spriggs, Jamar in the house, baby, Zol, Matt Fritz, RJ, Jacobon, Carson, Mr. Jordan, JG, CJ Trays, Edgar in the house, come on. Jason winning loser, baby. Good morning. What up, Mr. Lebowski, Carissa Hines, Noah, Joey Kakamo, Regal in the house, Ayush, Jay Yesko, baby, King Kong in the trunk. What up, baby? What up, Cavalier? How we doing, Kurt? What up, BJ? What up, D's? Homie, good morning, baby. Mr. Schubert. What about that Twitch? What about Relentless? Swinging Bear, Razzle Dazzle, Stock Squash. I messed that one up. Iron Beagle, Dio, Dante, Vasily, Payday Devo, Epic Eric, Assassin, Roach, Vince, Triple Three, Hakuna Marax, El Coyote, Blazing Bob, and Blowing Dough, and Robo Hand Tech, baby. Good morning. Oh, what up, Mercator? What is this? Apple just launched something? What is something new with Apple? Customer care? Apple introduces iPad Air with powerful M3 chip and Magic Keyboard. Available March 4th, 2025. Well, that being said, here's Josh AI with the news, baby. Good morning. U.S. stock futures fall amid growing trade jitters. U.S. stock futures pointed to further declines on Wall Street after the S&P 500's biggest drop this year, as worries over global trade tensions weighed on markets. S&P 500 and NASDAQ 100 contracts slipped by at least 0.5%. In Europe, the stock 600 slumped 1.5% on concerns the region will be President Donald Trump's next target for import tariffs. Trump on Monday imposed levies on Mexico, Canada, and China in his biggest push yet to remake global trade. Investors will be watching his address to Congress later for hints on future steps. Canada announced a sweeping package of tariffs in response, and China retaliated by imposing tariffs as high as 15% on some U.S. exports. Oil extended its slump on concerns over trade frictions and plans by OPEC Plus to revive halted production. Haven investments like the Swiss franc and the yen posted strong gains, while gold climbed above $2,920 an ounce. We're in a downward market and we don't know when it's going to stop, said Nicolas Domant, a fund manager at Optigestion in Paris. It's by no means catastrophic, but we are still waiting for some good news. The dollar spot index fell for a second day, sliding 0.5%. Yields on policy-sensitive 2-year treasuries dropped as much as 6 basis points to the lowest since October as traders increased wagers on the scope of Federal Reserve interest rate cuts this year. Money markets now price 75 basis points of Fed reductions for the first time since the middle of December, reflecting concerns for the outlook on the U.S. economy. Trump on Monday also ordered a pause to all military aid to Ukraine, turning up the heat on Volodymyr Zelensky just days after an Oval Office blow-up with the Ukrainian president left the support of his country's most important ally in doubt. The euro rose as much as 0.6% to its highest level this year as the European Union proposed extending 150 billion euros, $158 billion in loans to boost defense spending. A basket of European defense stocks hit a record high as Thales SA jumped 8% after its results beat expectations, while Hensoldt AG rallied as much as 18%. Tariff-sensitive automakers and energy stocks led declines in Europe as the U.S. levies took effect. We need to know exactly what the U.S. plan is towards European tariffs, said Salman Ahmed, global head of macro and strategic asset allocation at Fidelity International. It's likely to be different from Canadian and Mexican tariffs because the interrelationships are different. It's a big unknown for European equity outperformance to continue. Cryptocurrencies remained volatile after Trump stepped up calls for a digital asset stockpile. Bitcoin declined for a second day after sinking more than 9% on Monday. The MVIS Crypto Compare Digital Assets 100 index slipped as much as 9.8%. In Asia, Chinese stocks were modestly lower on speculation the country is taking a measured approach to U.S. levies with its retaliatory tariffs stopping short of a full-blown trade war. India's NSE Nifty 50 index equities benchmark extended its drop to a record 10th day. Overseas investors continue to flee the market on concerns about slowing economic growth and relatively high valuations. Bonds beat stocks. Yesterday's big sell-off in the U.S. stock market and the plunge in Treasury yields has upended a once powerful market trend. Bonds are now outperforming equities since Trump was elected president. Trump escalates global trade war, sparking tit-for-tat tariffs. The new U.S. tariffs, 25% duties on most Canadian and Mexican imports, and raising the charge on China to 20%, apply to roughly $1.5 trillion in annual imports, an expansive move signaling to markets that the Republican president is committed to inflicting economic pain to generate fresh revenue and create domestic manufacturing jobs. Canada hit back with phased levies on $107 billion worth of U.S. goods, while China imposed tariffs of as high as 15%, mainly on American agricultural shipments. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum on Monday said her government would await Trump's decision before reacting with any retaliatory measures and is expected to address reporters on Tuesday morning local time. EU proposes €150 billion defense loan as Trump pulls back, and the European Union will propose extending €150 billion, $158 billion in loans to boost defense spending as the bloc tries to adjust to U.S. President Donald Trump's abrupt pullback of American security on the continent. After decades of underinvestment, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said that the EU also plans to activate a mechanism that would allow countries to use their national budgets to spend an additional €650 billion on defense over 4 years without triggering budgetary penalties. Aramco trims world's biggest payout in blow to Saudi budget. Aramco plans to trim the world's biggest dividend, lowering a key source of funds for Saudi Arabia's budget while relieving stress on its own finances. Saudi Aramco expects the total payout to be about $85 billion in 2025, compared with $124 billion last year. It said in a statement Tuesday. The lower distribution, in line with previously announced policy, has been in focus for investors and economists alike, as the payout has become a crucial component of the kingdom's budget amid a multi-trillion-dollar plan to transform the economy. Top overnight news: Trump ordered a pause on all military aid to Ukraine until he determines there's a good faith commitment to peace. A defense official said the U.S. will engage with Volodymyr Zelensky if he calls with a serious proposal to end the war, J.D. Vance told Fox BBG. Global government borrowing is expected to hit a record $12.3 this year, with the aggregate debt stock climbing to nearly $77 TFT. The United States is drawing up a plan to potentially give Russia sanctions relief as President Donald Trump seeks to restore ties with Moscow and stop the war in Ukraine. RTRS Fed's Musalem 2025 voter said the outlook is for continued solid economic growth, but recent consumer and housing data pose some downside risk. Musalem added that restrictive monetary policy is still needed to ensure inflation returns to the 2% target, while a patient approach to policy will help achieve the Fed's goals and sustain economic expansion. U.S. Education Secretary McMahon said that President Trump has assigned them the final mission to reduce bureaucratic inefficiencies within the Department of Education. China retaliates against Trump's tariffs, imposing 15% duties on imports of U.S. poultry, wheat, corn, and cotton, and 10% on soybeans, pork, beef, fruit, vegetables, and dairy, while 15 U.S. firms were added to Beijing's export control list and another 10 were put on the unreliable entity list. Illumina has been barred from exporting tools to China. SCMP, Canada's retaliatory tariff plan, includes 25% levies on about $30 billion, $20.8 billion worth of goods from the U.S., with a second round on $125 billion of products in 3 weeks. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum is expected to spell out her plan today. China plans to issue guidance encouraging domestic firms to use chips based on the RISC-V open source standard instead of proprietary Western standards sold by the likes of ARM, AMD, and INTC RTRS. The RBA said last month's rate reduction doesn't commit the board to further easing. According to minutes of the meeting, CBA Chief Matt Common said he expects a slower and shallower rate cut cycle. BBG leaders of Arab countries are set to meet in Cairo today to endorse a Gaza reconstruction plan to counter Trump's proposals. BBG, China's MOFCOM, earlier stated that China will take countermeasures to firmly safeguard its rights and interests in response to U.S. tariffs, while it urged the U.S. to immediately withdraw its unilateral tariff measures, calling them unreasonable, groundless, harmful to others, and self-serving. Furthermore, it hopes the U.S. will return to the right track of resolving differences through dialogue on an equal footing as soon as possible. BBG. No BBG. No BBG. There's more. It's tariff day, baby. I know. S&P futures, they're down by 0.5. Tuesday morning trading comes after U.S. equities sold off on Monday, with the S&P suffering its biggest pullback thus far this year, down more than 1.5 for the third time in the last 7 sessions. Mag 7 down with an outsized weakness in NVIDIA, while cyclicals underperformed defensives by more than 450 basis points. Treasuries mixed with the curve steepening, dollar down by 0.7, gold up by 1, Bitcoin down by 3.3, WTI down by 1.2 after falling 2% on OPEC news. Fairly quiet from a headline perspective as the market waits for Trump's speech tonight and more high-profile macro data over the next few days. Mexico president said retaliatory tariffs on U.S. are coming this Sunday. Headwinds remain focused on Trump 2.0 policy uncertainty, retaliatory trade action, softer patch of U.S. economic data, credit spread widening, albeit off low levels, VIX ramp, AI themes, scrutiny, momentum unwind, underperformance of cyclicals versus defensives, CTA supply, softer guidance, earnings revisions, lack of capitulation, and potential government shutdown. However, still thoughts that Trump Still thought Trump could dial back tariffs, although talk of growth fears overdone, particularly when looking at resilience of hard versus soft data. Pickup in Fed easing expectations, 75 basis points of rate cuts, 3 cuts now priced in on the year. Cleaner positioning, still evaporated corporate buyback activity, double-digit % earnings growth, and rate reprieve. Nothing on the economic calendar this morning, though. New York Fed President Williams speaks at 2:20. President Trump delivers union address later tonight, 6 p.m. Pacific. Wednesday morning brings ADP private payrolls, ISM and factory orders, followed by Beige Book later that afternoon. Trade balance, final non-farm and unit labor costs and initial claims on Thursday. Fed Harker, Waller, and Bostic scheduled to speak, and then February employment report on Friday. Fed Powell, William, and Kugler all scheduled for Friday as well. Tesla down on weaker January, February China sales, AZO, margins and international sales weaker. Target Q4 better and 25 EPS slightly ahead of midpoint, while outlook commentary lean cautious, flagging consumer uncertainty. BBY comps unexpectedly positive but guide below. ONON Q4 beat with release highlighting brand momentum. Okta big post-earnings gainer with takeaways highlighting 15%. CRPO growth, full year 26 revenue and margin guide above. New product traction and strong execution. GitLab beat with takeaways noting large deal momentum, Duo outperformance, and new CRO hire. ACI unveiled new CEO succession plan. EVP COO Susan Morris to take this job, top job, starting in May while company reaffirmed guidance. Walgreens up on report. Company nearing a $10 billion deal with Sycamore to go private at $11.30 would be the buyout price. SMR post-earnings laggard with some focus on lack of color surrounding customer interest. And then Dave beat on Q4 metrics, full year EBITDA guide ahead. There's more. Trump escalates trade war with sweeping tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China. China retaliates with tariffs on U.S. farm exports, but response seemed measured. Canada says ready to retaliate if Trump imposes tariffs. Mexico president says country has backup plan if Trump goes through. U.S. suspends military aid to Ukraine, demands apology and peace negotiations. EU unveils $800 billion rearm Europe plan and U.S. security pullback. Trump slams Zelensky for saying war with Russia is a long way from being over. Europe discusses seizing $200 billion in Russian assets to ensure Moscow sticks to ceasefire. White House exploring options for easing Russian sanctions. Trump draws currency red line for China, deterring yuan devaluation. Market tilt toward risk-off reality of Trump policy, sending Trump trade into full retreat. U.S. Treasuries outperform stocks as trade war escalates with Trump trade reversing. Global government borrowing soars to $12.3 trillion amid defense spending surge. Trump session looms as Atlanta Fed signals U.S. GDP shrinkage amid policy uncertainty. Goldman CEO sees slim recession risk ahead of Trump trade policy uncertainty. UK retailers warn of price hikes as employment costs set to rise in April. UK rental inflation hits 3-year low as market shows signs of cooling. Japan unchanged 2.5 unemployment signals tight labor market amid worker shortage. Australian Open and cricket boost January retail spending amid mixed trends. New Zealanders flee to Australia Gold Coast amid economic downturn. RBA signals caution on future cuts after February easing. TSMC and Trump announce $100 billion 4-year investment plan in U.S. chip makers. Walgreens near $10 billion deal to be taken by Sycamore. Aramco slashes world's largest dividend to $85 billion. China bans imports of genetic sequencers from U.S. maker Illumina as part of response to U.S. tariffs. GitLab surges as profit beat but cautious with conservative outlook. Mercedes-Benz pushes forward with cost-cutting drive, reducing headcount. Shutdown risk continues to ramp with Democrats insisting on language limiting Trump and Doge on spending in exchange for their support. Senate negotiators discussing both full-year and one-month continuing resolutions to avoid shutdown in less than 10 days. Congressional Republicans launch task force to scrutinize Fed's role amid inflation concerns. Wow. Amen, baby. And shout out to vets, bro. Tell them early. Hey, man, good morning. Good morning. Happy Tariff Day. I don't know if it's like a holiday or something, but yeah. Either way, you got some pre-market movers. Okta is up by 13 off earnings. SC is up 6.9 off earnings. ONON 4.9 off earnings. ONC is up by 3.4. FDA approves Tevimbra for treatment of advanced esophageal squamous cell carcinoma. AMGN up 1.8. MDT up 1.2. City upgrade. Honeywell up by 0.2 to acquire Sundyne from private equity firm for $2.1 billion in cash. Genie up 7.1 off earnings. Dave 5.9 off earnings. Walgreens up 4.8 on Sycamore deal. WVE 4.5 off earnings. Sabre up by 3.1 81 Bank of America upgrade. NXE 2.5 off earnings. Mass is up by 83 off earnings. Capper is up by 10.5. AFDA acceptance priority review of BLA of deramiocel to treat Duchenne muscular dystrophy. Stim is up by 10.3 off earnings. HSII up 4 off earnings. Gold and silver related stocks trading higher. Chinese ADRs trading higher. Trading lower. CLS down 5. Mixed shelf indeterminate amount. Tesla down 4.6 on China EV sales dropping. Illumina down 4.5 on China prohibiting alumina exports. Reddit down 3, Carvana down 3, KKR down 3.9, offering 1.5 billion shares. Mobileye down 2.9, MGA down 2.9, Bank of America downgrade. Natera down 2.8, U.S. patent related to testing of single nucleotide variants in circulating tumor. IBKR down 2.7, Uber down 2.5, announces availability of Waymo autonomous vehicles on Uber app in Austin. AZO down 2 off earnings. BBY down 1.1 earnings and 1.1% dividend increase. DSP down 17 off earnings. PSFE down 13 off earnings. Sound down by 13. Delays 10K. SMR down 8.1 off earnings. DV down 5. Loop Capital downgrade. ASTS down 5 off of earnings. Joby down. LEU down 4, Citi initiates neutral, AD&T down 3.8, Deutsche Bank or Bank of America downgrade, ULCC down 3, Deutsche Bank downgrade, AVDX down 2, Barclays downgrade, TXG down 2.3, secures injunction against Parse Bioscience, Tandem down 2, Citi downgrade, JetBlue down 1.9, Deutsche Bank downgrade, Cube down 1.7, 13 million offering, TNYA down 33, 75 million share offering, GCT down 21 off earnings, Sens down 16 off earnings, YMAB down 11 off earnings, Riley down 7, preliminary Q4, Riley amends 13D, suspends pursuit of going private transactions, and sells Atlantic Coast Recycling for 70 million, INFU down 6.2 off earnings, AMRC 5 off UBS downgrade, Nova down 3.3, Wells Fargo downgrade, semis trading lower, Bitcoin lower, quantum lower, and European financials trading lower. Habibi, so much. Wow. Welcome, Sam. Well, get ready, baby. You're here right now. We've gone over a lot of the news. Again, I mean, I'm really going to be looking today for tariffs in a weird way. I think it might be a little calmer. So far, even the response with Canada and Mexico, you're not watching the market go crazy, but the last 7 days, I mean, what has it taught us? It's taught us that you could pretty much just die at the end of the day for no reason. So we'll see where it's at, but so far you got another response coming from Mexico on Sunday. Otherwise, we'll see where it takes us. So TLT 95s, I don't want to comment on the play per se, but I would watch bonds. That's what I've been doing a lot. I've been making a lot of bond plays in SPY. There's a couple of individuals, but again, whatever happens here with bonds and the motivation and the 3 rate cuts now priced in, all of those are reasons why you should pay attention to bonds. So I don't know if you want the exact strike price, but it's really just paying attention to the driver of the bond market right now. I think that will give you your advantage. And if you watch yesterday's watch list, I gave you guys an edge if you want to buy puts. There's actually a cheap put that still exists. So we'll see. But Chad Adonia, screw a TLT. Screw any of that. You know why? Because we wouldn't have any of it if we didn't have honorable men and women who gave up everything for our freedom. So before you take your first trade, before you try to do anything today, I hope you could pay homage and honor all of the Americans, men, women who have given their lives and have sacrificed so much for us to be living in this country and enjoying what we have. So before we do any of that, we got to give a huge shout out. And screw just the words. I hope you guys carry this in your heart. I hope you bring this culture to real life. And I hope one day that we could have no such thing as homeless veterans. $6 billion, we could change that. But even with the money aside, man, all that matters is as a culture, as a people, society, we need to honor those who have already given so much for us, whether or not we take it for granted. So veterans, the families, thank you for everything you have given. Please get a long-term. Please let us get you a house, whatever it may be. But we are in your debt, and at the very least, every morning, we should be saying thank you. So God bless the veterans, and big shout-out to anybody else out there giving back to their local communities, all the doctors, nurses, teachers, firefighters, police officers, the janitors, the coaches, the garbage men. anybody making their community run, baby. God bless you and keep it up. But, ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Place your right hand over your heart. Say it with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all, baby. Send it to church! Oh, it's game time, baby. Oh, no, let's go. Oh, Chadadonia. How you feeling? How you feeling, baby? It's game time. So we got about 5 minutes now till the bell. You got your tariffs in, or it's going to be fun, man. And again, I hope you watch the watch list. It's on this channel, but like I'm saying, from now until April, we're going to have a lot of these reactions. So whatever happens today, even after this volatility, it is going to be important. So that being said, I do have a couple of plays I want to go over, but now we must move on over, Chad. We must move on over. So it should take you there. Otherwise, here's the link. We're going to free all the other Chads. I will see you there, baby. God bless Chadadonia. And let's have a good one, bro. Let us have a good one, man. Let's have a good one. But I love you, Chad. God bless you. And I'll see you in a little bit.